Let's talk about the body, which is the place that ascension happens. Let's talk about what happens to the body at ascension, and let's talk about the fact that the body's reality is starting to speed up. Physicality is starting to speed up, and what that even means for you. Okay, let's start with one thing at a time though. Your body is the place that ascension happens. If you allow yourself to really absorb those words, can you see how that creates an opening for you to step into a very new relationship with your body? That's kind of like reframing the purpose of your form, the purpose of being in physicality. Now, what is your physical body? You know that it's a vehicle. Yes, you know that it's an extension of you. It's not what you are. It is a place through which you can express yourself. But a lot of people say, why? Why bother? You know, it seems so cumbersome. It seems not a joy to have this thing that ages, this thing where joints start seizing or disease starts happening. It seems to be so fraught with difficulty, and so much resistance gets embedded into the body because so much emotion gets pushed down into the body, undealt with, unresolved, unreleased, and that becomes rigidity in the body. That becomes pain at some level. Emotional pain gets buried into the body and it starts expressing as physical pain. So the body holds a lot of stuff, and then we start blaming the body and saying, oh, this body of mine is failing. And at that point, we develop a relationship that's very dismissive with the body. And did you know that your relationship with your body determines your relationship with others? Because that's the foundational relationship. Imagine having a relationship of unconditional love with others, but absolute intolerance and unkindness towards yourself. See, that has to seep through your own, if it's in place with you, unconditional love. If that's in place with you, that's going to seep through into all of your other relationships. But equally, when your relationship at the fundamental level with your own physical form is dismissive or intolerant or judgmental or unkind or whatever it is, that's going to seep into all other relationships too. And this isn't to invite blame. This isn't to invite more judgment and condemnation. Oh, look at what I'm doing wrong. Instead, this is to look at how powerful can I be when I don't step into blame of self, but I step into the prospect of being the remedy. Because that's what personal responsibility allows you. The prospect of being the answer, being the remedy, being the solution you seek. For example, you might say, I want relationships of intimacy in my life. I want fulfilling relationships, supportive, gentle, kind, whatever it is, relationships in my life. I want relationships of presence. Do you know how exquisite it is? I hope you do. Do you know how exquisite it is when somebody's present with you and they're just so fully absorbing whatever it is that you're telling them? That alone can make you melt into happiness and joy and contentment. Presence is so important. So if you want all of these things in relationships, then it begins at this foundational level, at the relationship with self. So when you understand, oh gosh, I'm not to blame if I've treated myself badly. Instead, I am to reclaim my power and be the remedy. So I then get to be the love, the tolerance, the presence, the patience, the intimacy that I might seek. And let's talk a little bit about intimacy, because intimacy is merely the depth of the relationship. It's the depth of your connection to yourself energetically, to yourself emotionally. When that's in place, intimacy with others is almost a natural extension. It just happens. Have you got people in your life that find it really easy to be intimate with others? That's because they've got an established relationship of intimacy with themselves in place. So moments back, I said to you, the body is the place where ascension happens. Does that give you a reframing and a possibility, a potentiality of recreating your relationship with your body, being the remedy that you seek in this world? You are the answer. As soon as you let go of ideas of being wrong and being blamed and doing things wrong and being a disappointment in the world, and you start embracing what one might have thought of as a failure in the past or a shortcoming in the past, as soon as you start embracing those areas and going, look at my potential for growth here. Look at my opportunity for wholesomeness here. Look at how I've got room to heal here. And what if I did? What if I turned all those spaces and places within me of inadequacy, for example? What if I turned those places into blossoming, thriving, flourishing relationship of love? What if I transformed this relationship with the body? Do you know what happens at Ascension? At Ascension, the body is transfigured. It's transformed into, it's an alchemical process where it's transformed into a higher expression. But why is it right now, if you are already 5D, which you are, if you are already a higher self, which you are, why is it that you can't access 5D, can't access the higher self, the multidimensionality? Why is it that you're so shut off? The body is conforming to a template, a pattern, a program of the false matrix and expressing itself according to that template. Ascension is when that template is finally finished and where the new template, meaning, and when I talk about the template, I'm talking about the physical expression. When the new template, which is your original blueprint, comes back online again. Your original blueprint already exists within you, but it's being overridden by a program of the false matrix. And one of the ways that we see the false matrix representing itself in our physical form is when you put your hands together and they're not exactly the same. They're not symmetrical. Neither are your eyes, or your cheeks, or your bone structure, or the shape of your chin. Everywhere in our body, there is some kind of lack of symmetry, which is an expression of the false matrix's lack of harmony, lack of cohesion. We became disjointed. We became disfigured in a very mild sense, in that we experience ourselves always out, just always out of symmetry, always out of harmony. So when we ascend at that ascension point, which we call the solar flash, by the way, which we call the ascension event, it goes by many different names. I'm talking about the great collective ascension point, at that point where the body undergoes transfiguration. The body then is able to host 5D, or you could say your higher expression, your higher self even, to host that higher wisdom within it. Right now, the body's plugged into, tuned into the false matrix personality. We also call that the ego. So the persona, the personality, the ego, that's all the same thing. That is essentially a self. Some people call it a slave self, which I think is a very accurate terminology. That self is able to navigate the false matrix. It's able to live in the disharmony because it is disharmonious. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not punishable. It is merely out of alignment. And Ascension is you coming back into alignment. And one of the ways that you're going to see that is at Ascension, there will be a correction in the body templates. In other words, the physical form is going to start expressing itself in its healed version. So blind people are going to see. Paralyzed people are going to feel. Muscles will regrow. Limbs will regrow. The aged will become youthed. Eyesight will regenerate. Flexibility and fluidity will return. Imagine having absolute vitality and effortlessness and mobility at a level of fluidity that you haven't even imagined possible, having that in your body. That's what the 5D body is geared for. Now, where is your body and where is your soul? Have you ever wondered that? I've explained this in a previous video, but I want to explain it again because there's a number of you that are new here on my channel, and this is an important piece of information. I think I explained it in a video called Your Body is a Technology You Do Not Own. It's a great video. You should go watch that. But what I explained to you is your body, think of Russian nesting dolls and your body being in the middle. And just like your auric field or your energy field surrounding your body, that's very understandable. You've got a mental image if I say that to you. Yes, your energy field extends out from your body. Well, your body emits frequency, but your frequency also emits the body. Think of it that way. So the body is in the center of your multidimensionality. Your multidimensionality are the many, many layers of your soul, the many, many layers of your energy bodies that surround the physical body. So the physical body is nestled, cushioned, right there in the middle of the sanctity and the sanctuary of your own soul. That's where the body resides. The body's teeny weeny tiny compared to the enormity and the infiniteness, the vastness of your multidimensional truth. That's the essence of who you are. That's the truth of who you are. And Ascension is enabling more of that higher dimensionality to come through the physical form. In the false matrix, there's an absolute shutting down, cutting off from your ability to do that. And almost like you're rewired in a very, well, it's called the false matrix for a reason, in a very unnatural way. You're rewired to plug into only the personality self, the ego self, and to absolutely not connect to that multidimensional truth, which is why we feel so out of place and lost, and I'm in the wrong place, and it's the wrong body, and all of these types of thoughts and beliefs. It stems from the inability, once in the physical form, the inability to connect with consciousness. Higher consciousness, that truth, beyond the personality level or beyond even the ego level self that we know. So what you're going to find is that Ascension restores you at the physical level, but very importantly, it restores you to the connection to that higher self that already exists. And then the higher self becomes the resident. Let's put it that way. The higher self becomes the resident, the primary resident of the body. No more entities can then exist in the body. For those of you in my online community, we've done a lot of work on entity release, entity clearing. If you go into the search bar in your Plasma Life Call library, you're going to find numerous, I think there's 5, I could be wrong, 5 different entity clearing videos where we go through clearing out the body field, clearing out the body field. At the point of Ascension, that's done. And all that remains is this multidimensional essence of you. Now, the body is speeding up. Let's talk about that. The body is speeding up because reality is speeding up, and reality happens at the energetic level and then it filters into the physical level. And sometimes that can create a feeling like you're buzzing, that can create a feeling like there's anxiety, that can create all sorts of knock-on effects, almost like you've drunk too much coffee but you haven't had a sip of coffee, that kind of a feeling. So I want you to understand something, and that is that your physical body is going to go faster and faster. And the great gift and the great blessing that you have right now is that your brain can't keep up. Your brain can't keep up with how your body is transforming, and your body is transforming every day. Every single day, your body is evolving, is able to be more, do more, understand more, see more, accept more, know more. Because we're so used to thinking of the body merely as this thing that moves, instead of consciousness, innate consciousness that resides at the cellular level. The body, we know it's complex in the sense that it's this ongoing, interconnected healing system. And we can almost marvel, we can take a step back and marvel at it. But oh my gosh, it's so much more than a physical system. It's an emotional system. It is a spiritual system too. Remember? I got to repeat it because it's just so powerful when you let it really sink in. The body is the place that Ascension happens. Feel how that keeps elevating you. Every time you go back to that, feel how that keeps elevating your relationship to the body self. And when that shifts for you into a relationship of more harmony, not even pure harmony, just a relationship of more harmony, You're going to find spontaneous healings, which many of you, by the way, have told me you're experiencing. Many of you have said, I'm youthing instead of aging. I'm experiencing spontaneous, miraculous healings without doing anything to have earned it or facilitated it. The body is speeding up and the brain's not catching up. And that's a great gift. It's a great blessing. But you'll be disconcerted and out of sorts if you try to keep up. In other words, if you try to stay in control, this is what I feel and why I feel it. That's one of the ways in which we control reality, or try. Because the truth is you can't, but you can have the illusion that you're in control. And when you hold the illusion that you're in control, you always want to be in analysis. You always want to be in, why do I feel this? Where did it come from? Who put it there? How long has it been there? How do I get rid of it? That's almost the blueprint of control. That's what it looks like. Instead, when you go, I'm just going to be present with my body, however the body shows up in this moment, I'm going to be present with it. So the body could show up with a headache. The body could show up with irritability. The body could show up with aches and pains you didn't even know you had. The body could show up however it shows up. And your job is, I'm just here to be present with it because my body's in the process of transforming, and it's going to keep transforming. See how every day is practice towards ascension? Because it is. If ascension is that ultimate process of transfiguration, then every day leading up to ascension is practice. And today, I want you to be more aware of that practice. The body is way more miraculous, and it's equipped to do way more than our current comprehension allows. The body, and I've again shared this before, but for the benefit of those new to my channel, the body at the point of ascension does something almost unthinkable. It's so profound and powerful and miraculous that it's almost unthinkable. And that is, at the ascension point, your body emits a radiant light. We know the ascension flash is this moment from the sun. It is literally a cosmic flash that comes from the galactic sun, which is triggered by the universal sun, and that filters down into our solar sun, and then it causes the same thing to occur in the physical body. The physical body has its own flash, its own emission of light in response to the solar flash, and that emission of light becomes a bubble or a force field of multidimensional truth. It becomes a safe haven. It becomes a sanctuary space. You might be aware that outside of your bubble, the earth is doing some very interesting things, but inside of your bubble, you're going to be very aware of yourself in the throes of transfiguration and healing. And you're going to be aware of many numerous bubbles around you doing the same thing, others being removed, others being lovingly escorted off the planet because maybe they're done. They don't want to come back. They're moving off. Let's just imagine into another 5D realm, not necessarily even somewhere else. They might be going to a 7D realm. They might just be done with planet Earth. Others will be going to a 4D Earth. Many of the current day Earthlings will be moving off to a 4D world when we come to that ascension point and their body's not quite ready to go into 5D. They then get moved off into a 4D planet. So you're going to see a lot of activity in the field around you, but at the same time, it's almost as if time will stand still. You will be in the sanctuary of your own field, and within your field are your guides, your loved ones, children, family, pets, whoever's a part of your field in a very, very profound way. The monad, so to speak, meaning the collective soul, they come in at that ascension point. It's the most exquisite thing for you to understand. This is it. This is where the magic happens, because it is. Please tell me more about your relationship to your body and know that it's in the process of transforming. The brain does not direct this, thank goodness. The brain does not determine this, thank goodness, because if it did, you'd probably be harming yourself right now, because you know what the tricky chatterbox brain does. It says things like, oh, what if I get it wrong? What if I fail? What if I mess it up? Whereas when the body just does ascension, when you step out of the way and just allow the body to do what the body does, which is to respond to the cosmic light coming in, it does a phenomenal job. Remember I said earlier, your body emits a frequency, and the frequencies also emit your body. Allow yourself to just play with that for a little while and to see the interplay there, to see how the microcosm and the macrocosm always show up interchangeably, how the universe is within you and around you. You are a universe, which is such a beautiful thing when you're brought up to believe that you're this finite, fallible, even physically inadequate thing, to then start perceiving and conceiving of yourself as divinity. That alone should start blowing your mind and creating ripples in your field of exquisite healing. So from my heart all the way into yours, I do hope that you feel it. Lots and lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye for now. I'll leave a video for you up here that you can go ahead and watch. This one is a little bit more about healing and what you need to know about healing. Go and watch this next. Bye-bye for now.